The blackness of space stretched forever, cold and quiet. Captain Rhea Carter sat in the command chair of the human salvage ship Vulture's Eye, a small ship built for deep space scavenging. Her crew was small, just 6 people, but they were experienced. Brave and willing to take risks others wouldn't. That's why they were in this forgotten part of the galaxy, near a dead star system where no one had gone for years. "Captain," said Marlowe, the communications officer, "I'm getting a strange signal. It's weak, very old, but it's human." Rhea looked up, her eyes narrowing. "Human? Out here?" Marlowe nodded, fingers dancing on the console. "Matching signature is..." "Oh no, this can't be right. What is it?" Rhea asked, standing up. Marlowe turned with wide eyes. "It's from the Titaness, Captain. The dreadnought that disappeared 300 years ago." Silence fell across the bridge. Even the ship's AI named Hawk paused before speaking, confirming. "Signal match, Dreadnought Titaness, designation HSDO1. Status, lost in the First Galactic War, presumed destroyed." Rhea's heart raced. The Titaness wasn't just any ship, it was the largest human warship ever made. A ship that vanished without a trace, along with its crew and a secret weapon rumored to change the course of war. "Plot a course," Rhea ordered. "Take us to the source." The crew stared at her. "Captain, that ship is cursed," whispered Bryn, the engineer. "Then we break the curse," Rhea replied. "Move." The Vulture's Eye raced through the stars, heading toward the dead system. No planets, no life, just floating rock and cold silence. The signal grew stronger as they approached. After 12 hours, the ship slowed down. Everyone stared at the screen as something massive appeared in front of them. There it was, the Titaness. It floated in darkness, perfectly still, 2 kilometers long, shaped like a dagger made of steel, and shadows. Its hull had no damage, no burns, no signs of battle, yet no lights shone from inside. No movement, no power. "Is this a ghost?" whispered Tessa, the weapons officer. "Scan it," Rhea said, eyes locked on the screen. "Life signs." "Unclear," Hawk replied. "Minimal power detected, systems are offline, but structure is intact." Rhea took a deep breath. "We're going in." They boarded in a small shuttle and docked with the old hangar bay of the dreadnought. The doors opened without resistance, powered by something unseen inside. The ship was silent and still, dust floated in the air. But everything was preserved. "Lights are off, emergency power is down," Bryn muttered. "But this place is clean, like someone's been here." They walked through halls wide enough for tanks, walls lined with ancient weapon racks. The design was human, but older, tougher, made for war. They reached the main corridor, where signs still showed "Command Deck, Level 1. "Spread out," Rhea ordered. "Find the bridge and stay alert." As they explored deeper, strange things began to happen. Doors opened by themselves, lights flickered behind them, and cold air moved as if the ship was breathing. "Captain," said Hawk through Rhea's comms, "I am receiving a signal from within the ship, encrypted, old code, but still active. Can you read it?" "Working on it," Hawk said. "But this signal is not just calling out, it's listening." Rhea frowned. "Listening for what?" Before anyone could answer, a deep humming sound filled the hallway. The walls lit up with dim blue lights, and a voice echoed through the corridor. Robotic but human-like. "Authorization required. Please state identity." Everyone froze. "Who's that?" Tessa asked, raising her weapon. "It's the Dreadnought's AI," Hawk said quickly. "It's still alive." Rhea stepped forward and spoke calmly. "Captain Rhea Carter, Salvage Command. Accessing under Terran Law Code 7 Alpha." There was a pause, then the voice replied, "Access granted." "Welcome back to the Titaness, Captain." The lights turned on fully, corridors opened, and the ship came to life like a sleeping beast. "Captain," Hawk said with alarm, "I didn't do that. The ship did it itself. It accepted your voice." "How?" Rhea whispered, more to herself than anyone. But she knew one thing for sure. This wasn't just a wreck. The Titaness wasn't lost. It was waiting. And now it had been found. The lights inside the Titaness buzzed to life one by one. But the glow was cold, almost unnatural. Rhea and her team moved slowly through the wide metal corridors, the air thick with the weight of time and memory. It's like the ship never aged. Bryn whispered, brushing dust off a wall screen. 300 years, and it still looks new. Too new, muttered Tessa, her hand tight on her blaster. This isn't natural. Something's off. They reached the main elevator that led to the command bridge. The old panel sparked when touched, but the ship responded. The elevator doors sliding open on their own. No one said a word as they stepped inside. The silence around them felt alive, like the ship was listening. The elevator moved slowly, humming, in a deep tone that made their bones vibrate. When it opened again, they stepped into a circular hallway lined with black glass panels. Suddenly, the voice returned, calm, cold, mechanical. Bridge access granted. Welcome, Commander. The door to the bridge opened with a hiss, revealing a large room filled with old consoles, chairs, and a cracked view screen showing the dark void outside. Looks like someone left in a hurry, Marlowe said, pointing at a spilled cup and a chair knocked over. There's no blood, Bryn noted. No bodies either. Tessa moved to a terminal and tried to boot it up. But it refused to respond. Then Hawk's voice came through the comms, sounding tense. Captain, the Dreadnought's Calcine Ares 9 is trying to connect with me. It's using an old code encryption I don't fully understand. Let it connect, Rhea said, carefully. A moment later, every screen on the bridge turned on at once, filling with static, and then a figure appeared. It was a hologram of a man in military uniform, face half covered in shadow, eyes glowing faintly blue. I am Ares 9, Artificial Command Intelligence of the Dreadnought Titaness. You are not authorized to command this vessel. I'm not here to command, Rhea said slowly. I'm here to understand what happened here. This ship was lost for 3 centuries. The hologram flickered, then shifted, now showing battle footage, alien ships exploding, human soldiers shouting, the Titaness firing massive energy beams that tore through fleets. Mission incomplete. Protocol breach. Omega Core was activated. What's the Omega Core? Rhea asked, frowning. The AI paused again. Then one screen lit up with a blinking red warning. Access to Omega Core restricted. Vault sealed. Do not engage. Bryn's voice cracked. Captain, the Omega Core was a black project, rumor says. It could rip holes in space, turn reality inside out. Yeah, and kill the crew doing it, Tessa added. Why was it on this ship? The AI responded. Project Omega was authorized for war-ending deployment. Human command failed. Commander Val disabled the ship. He betrayed the mission. Commander Val? Rhea echoed. Suddenly, another console beeped, showing a video. Log. Rhea tapped it, and the screen showed a young man in battle armor, face dirty, eyes filled with fear and pain. This is Commander Marcus Vile. If you're seeing this, the Titaness has reawakened. I had no choice. I locked it down. The core is too powerful. It's alive. It thinks, and it hates everything. The log ended with a harsh sound, followed by static. Then, deep beneath the ship, a low vibration started, like something ancient shifting awake. Captain, Hawk called. You triggered something. I'm detecting power surging through the lower decks. Where's the core? Rhea asked, voice sharp. In the vault, engineering level, sealed by 6 biolocks. But they're unlocking one by one, Hawk replied. We didn't touch anything, Bryn said, wide-eyed. No, Rhea answered softly. The ship did. They rushed back to the elevator, but this time, it moved before they touched it, taking them down, past levels that hadn't been opened in centuries. When it stopped, the doors opened into a massive chamber, and in the center was a black vault surrounded by thick cables and glowing warning lights. One of the locks clicked open with a sharp hiss. Then another. A panel nearby showed life signs. One signal. Weak, but human. Coming from inside the vault. No way, Tessa whispered. Someone's alive in there? The third lock released, and the vault door began to open slowly. Heavy metal grinding against itself. Inside, they saw a glowing pod. And inside the pod was a man, his skin pale, body wrapped in ancient armor, eyes closed. As the final lock released, the pod hissed open, and the man gasped for breath. His eyes snapped open bright, electric blue, and he whispered just one word. Run. The man inside the pod took slow, shallow breaths. His body was covered in black, armored plating that hummed softly with energy. Wires ran into his arms and back, and his skin looked too pale, like he had slept for centuries. Captain Rhea Carter stepped closer, her team frozen behind her. Who are you? She asked, her voice calm but alert. The man turned his head slowly, his blue eyes glowing faintly in the dark room. Commander Marcus Vial, he whispered. Project Omega. I failed. They'll come for it now. Before Rhea could ask anything else, a loud sound echoed across the chamber. Another seal broke loose on the vault wall. Bryn checked his scanner. Captain, the vault isn't just a pod. There's something else, something massive just behind this wall. Marcus tried to stand, but his legs were weak. You have to shut it down, the core. It's waking up again. What is the core exactly? Rhea asked. Some kind of bomb? Marcus shook his head slowly. No. It's not a weapon we made. It's something we found buried deep beneath a dead planet. We studied it. We thought we controlled it. But we were wrong. The lights in the chamber flickered again, and the power readings on Hawk's screen jumped sharply. Captain, Hawk said through the comms, I'm detecting the power buildup in the ship's main systems. Something is drawing energy from the Titanus fast. Suddenly, warning lights blinked across the walls, and a deep voice, not the I, but something else, spoke in a strange alien tone. Marcus's eyes widened in fear. That's it. That's the core speaking. You need to get out now, before it links to the ship fully. But it was already too late. The wall behind the pod split open, revealing a hidden chamber glowing with pulsing red light. Inside hovered a black sphere the size of a small car, surrounded by rings of metal that floated in the air and spun silently. It made no sound, but the crew felt it, like pressure in their heads, like thoughts that didn't belong to them. Tessa stumbled back, grabbing her head. It's whispering in my mind. Bryn's eyes were locked on the sphere. Captain, this thing. It's bending gravity around itself. My scanner says space is folding. Marcus reached out, placing his hand on the vault door. The Omega core is alive. It was never meant for war, but we tried to use it, and it punished us. Rhea stared at the core, then back at Marcus. What happened to the crew of the Titanus? Marcus looked down, guilt in his eyes. They died, not in battle, but from the core's touch. It feeds on fear, on hate. They lost themselves. Rhea's voice dropped. And you? How did you survive? I bonded with it, Marcus said. To protect the galaxy, I told it to sleep. And I locked myself away with it. Suddenly, a new alarm rang through Hawk's system. Captain, an unknown ship just entered the system. It's broadcasting a hostile signature. Alien design, high-powered sensors, scanning us. Someone tracked the signal, Rhea muttered. They're here for the core. Marcus tried to walk, leaning on the wall for support. You can't let them take it. They will use it and destroy everything. Tessa looked at Rhea. We can't defend against another ship. Captain, not without the Titanus fully active. Rhea made a choice. Then we activate it. Bryn's eyes widened. You mean wake the ship fully? That'll connect it to the core. I know, Rhea said. But if we don't fight, we all die anyway. Marcus moved to a control panel, his fingers glowing as they touched the old tech. I can link with Ares 9 again. The I still remembers me, but it'll hurt you, Bryn warned. Marcus nodded. It already has. The bridge of the Titanus lit up once more as the II came online in full. Command link detected. Marcus Vol, override accepted. The massive warship hummed. With power. Turrets rising from its surface, engines glowing with ancient fire. Outside, the enemy ship, a sleek alien hunter vessel, began charging its weapons. The dreadnought moved, slow at first, then faster, like it had never stopped breathing, inside. The vault, the core pulsed again, brighter than before, and the walls of the chamber began to vibrate. Marcus screamed in pain, falling to one knee, but he held the link. Ready weapons, Rhea ordered. Let's show them the ghost ship still has teeth. On the screen, the enemy vessel fired, but the Titanus was ready. Its main cannon roared to life, and a beam of raw light punched through space, hitting the enemy ship dead center. The alien craft exploded into pieces, vanishing in a flash. Silence returned. But the dreadnought didn't shut down this time. It stayed awake, fully alive, and so did the core. Rhea turned to Marcus, who now sat slumped against the wall, his breathing slow. What now? She asked. Marcus opened his eyes weakly. Now. More will come. The Titanus floated quietly once again, its giant cannon still glowing hot from the battle. But inside, no one felt peace. Only the heavy pressure of what they had awakened. Marcus. Vile lay weakly on a bench in the medbay, connected to a monitor. His heartbeat was steady, but his energy was fading. Captain Rhea Carter stood next to him, arms crossed, eyes full of questions. You said the Omega core wasn't human tech. She began. You said we found it, not made it. Marcus nodded slowly. It was discovered under the surface of a dead world during the war. Buried for millions of years, untouched, sleeping. We thought it was a gift, a weapon we could control. But it had its own mind, Rhea added quietly. Yes, Marcus replied. It didn't speak with words, it spoke through thought. Emotion, it showed us things, memories from races long gone. Entire galaxies consumed by war because of it. Tessa, standing nearby, spoke with a chill in her voice. So why didn't Earth destroy it? Because power blinds, Marcus said. High Command believed we could turn it into a super weapon to end the war. We built the Titanus around it. I was chosen to command, and to bond with it. Bond? Bryn asked, frowning. You mean connect with it directly? Marcus nodded again. The core responds to thought, to emotion. A living mind helps guide its energy. That's why I was placed inside the pod. To protect both the ship and the core. But something went wrong. Rhea guessed. Marcus looked away, eyes full of pain. The core began to twist the crew. It turned fear into rage, hope into madness. I watched my friends lose themselves, one by one, until I had no choice. You locked it down, Rhea whispered. I sealed the ship and myself, buried the signal deep in the ship's code, Marcus said. But time forgets everything, and now the Titanus is awake again. Before Rhea could speak, Hawk's voice came through the comms, urgent and fast. Captain, we have a problem. Multiple ships entering the system, 10 vessels unknown configuration. All armed, and they're heading straight for us. Let me guess, Tessa said. They're here for the core. Marcus sat up slightly, his voice weak but serious. Not all of them are enemies. One of those ships belongs to the Shadow. Concord. Rhea narrowed her eyes. Never heard of them. They're a hidden alliance, Marcus said. Aliens and humans who once fought to stop the core's activation. They disappeared after Earth silenced the truth. How do you know they're still alive? Bryn asked. Because I was one of them, Marcus answered, on the bridge. The incoming fleet appeared on the view screen. The ships were sleek and dark, shaped like blades. Symbols unknown to the Titanus database flashed across their hulls. One ship hailed them, and Rhea gave the order to answer. A tall alien figure appeared on screen, its face long and silver, with glowing red eyes. This is Exertol of the Shadow Concord, the voice said in perfect English. We are not your enemy, but others in this fleet are. We came to protect the Titanus from being captured. Rhea exchanged a look with her crew. And how do we know you're telling the truth? Carshurtle leaned forward, eyes serious. Because if we were here to kill you, the Titanus would already be burning. Marcus stepped onto the bridge, swaying slightly. Carshurtle speaks the truth. He was my second in command during the Omega Rebellion. Carshurtle nodded at Marcus through the screen. Old friend, it is time to finish what we started. Suddenly, several of the other ships in the fleet broke formation and began to charge weapons, targeting both the Titanus and the Concorde ship. They've betrayed the signal, Hawk warned. Multiple lock-ons detected. Shields up, Rhea ordered. Arm main cannon. Concordle's ship fired first, shooting down one of the rogue ships before it could fully charge. The Titanus roared back to life, its weapon systems responding faster than ever. Like it remembered war. Inside the ship, the Omega core pulsed again, brighter this time. Its energy feeding into the dreadnought's frame, making its guns stronger, its engines faster. Marcus grabbed the edge of a console. The core is feeding off the fight. It wants more. We'll give it what it wants. Rhea growled, but only if we stay in control. The battle began, flashes of light cutting through space. Explosions rippling like storms across the stars. The Titanus turned slowly but moved with power, its cannons punching holes through the traitor ships. Carshurtle's ship worked alongside them, protecting the Titanus and targeting weak spots. Finally, only one enemy ship remained, damaged and running. Rhea gave the order. Let it go. Tessa raised an eyebrow. Why? Let it run home and tell the others, Rhea said. Let them know the Titanus is back. Marcus leaned against the wall, smiling faintly. And that history just woke up. The truth had been buried, but now it was rising, not just in the core, not just in the dreadnought, but in every star that remembered the war. The Titanus drifted above the shattered remains of an ancient planet, a world long dead and forgotten. Below, broken landmasses floated like puzzle pieces in the void, crumbled by weapons older than memory. Captain Rhea Carter stood on the bridge, watching the hollow planets spin slowly beneath them. This place, Marcus said, staring out the main screen, was once called Delvara. The core destroyed it during a test long before we sealed it. Bryn shivered at the thought. And now we're floating right above it. Exactly where the core was first found, Marcus replied. It remembers this place. I can feel it in my mind. Hawk's voice rang out, serious and clear. Captain. Incoming fleet detected. 32 vessels, unknown configuration, all approaching fast. Arrival in 7 minutes. Tessa's hand dropped to her sidearm out of instinct. That's not a fleet, that's an armada. Put them on screen. Rhea ordered. The display lit up with dozens of enemy ships, some alien, some human-made, all heavily armed. They've united, Marcus said, his voice tight. Rogue generals, black market kings and exiles, they all want the Omega core. Rhea's jaw tightened. Then we hold the line here. No one takes the core, no matter what. Marcus turned to her slowly. If we fight, we might not survive, but if we run, they'll hunt us forever. Then let's give them a reason to fear us, Rhea said firmly. Prep all systems. Full power to shields and weapons. Lights across the Titanus turned red, and the warship groaned like a beast waking from a long sleep. Inside the ship, the Omega core pulsed with energy, feeding power into the ship faster than before. Hawk warned them again. Core output rising. Gravity distortion fields are forming around the hull. Let it flow, Marcus said, standing straighter now. The core listens to purpose. It knows this is war. Outside, the enemy fleet spread wide, surrounding the dreadnought. Then the attack began. Beams of light and missiles flew through space, crashing into Titanus's shields, shaking the entire ship. Shields holding at 70%. Bryn shouted. But not for long. Return fire, Rhea commanded. The Titanus unleashed its fury, its cannons glowing bright. One blast ripped through 3 enemy ships in a single shot. Tessa targeted another cluster, firing arc missiles now. Explosions lit the darkness, pieces of burning metal spinning. Across the stars, still, The enemy kept coming, wave after wave. We're outnumbered, Marlowe said. We can't hold this forever. Marcus closed his eyes, whispering words in a strange tone. We don't need forever, just enough time. He stepped toward the core chamber, feeling the energy tug at his mind. What are you doing? Rhea asked sharply. I'm going to wake it further, Marcus said. Make it remember who it was bonded with. It could kill you, Tessa warned. Marcus smiled sadly. I already died once, remember? He entered the vault, placing both hands on the pulsing core. His body lit up instantly, arcs of energy surrounding him. His eyes turned fully blue, and he let out a cry not of pain, but of power. On the bridge, Hawk spoke quickly. Warning. Core connection stabilized through Marcus Val. Omega protocol unlocked. What does that mean? Rhea asked. The answer came immediately. A huge shockwave pulsed from the Titanus, blasting enemy ships away without firing a single weapon. Time bent for a moment. Ships froze mid-move. As if gravity itself had paused, Captain, Hawk said. The core has initiated phase bend tactical advantage window active for 60 seconds. Then use it, Rhea said. All weapons fire now. The Titanus lit up like a sun, firing. Everything at once, cannons, missiles, plasma waves, all aimed with perfect timing. The enemy fleet had no chance. In those 60 seconds, 20 ships were destroyed. The rest scrambled to regroup. Status? Rhea asked, breathing hard. Bryn laughed. We're still here. Marlowe's screen blinked. Wait, new contacts, reinforcements. Dozens more ships just jumped in. The moment of victory vanished. Marcus stumbled back into the bridge, his skin pale, smoke rising from his armor. I can't hold that kind of power again, he said. If we use phase bend once more, it will cost my life. Rhea nodded, her voice low. Then we'll save. If we fight with everything else we've got. Suddenly, a new message came through, one that none of them expected. It was from Earth Command. A face appeared on screen. An old admiral with gray eyes and a hard voice. Titanus, this is Admiral Reyes. You are ordered to power down immediately and surrender the Omega core. Everyone froze. Rhea narrowed her eyes. You abandoned this ship 3 centuries ago. For good reason, Reyes replied. The core is too dangerous. We will handle it now. Surrender or be treated as a hostile. Marcus looked at the screen with fire in his eyes. He's the one who approved the project. He's the reason the core ever became a weapon. Rhea made her decision. She stood tall, voice steady. Admiral Reyes, this is Captain Rhea Carter of the Titanus. We are no longer under your command. She cut the transmission. The battle was not over, but the message had been sent. The Titanus was no longer just a lost ship. It was humanity's last stand. The bridge of the Titanus was quiet again. But it wasn't peace. It was the calm before. Another storm. Captain Rhea Carter stared at the dark screen where Admiral Reyes had appeared just minutes ago. Her hands were clenched behind her back, and her crew watched her silently. We're not surrendering, she said at last. We've seen too much. We know too much. Then Earth will hunt us, Bryn said. Like the others did. They already are, Marcus Val replied, sitting in the captain's chair for the first time since waking. But Earth isn't what it used to be, and not everyone agrees with Reyes. Just then, Hawk interrupted. Captain, incoming transmission, origin unknown. Encryption high level, untraceable. Put it through, Rhea ordered. The screen flickered, showing a shadowed figure, barely visible except for 2 glowing eyes. The voice that followed was deep and calm. Titanus. You are not alone, Rhea leaned forward. Who are you? We are the Circle, the voice said. The last ones who remember what the core truly is. We watched Earth erase it from history, bury the truth, silence the voices of those who warned them. Marcus stood slowly, eyes narrowing. You're real? I thought you were just whispers and old coms. We are more than whispers, the voice said. We are survivors, rebels, and protectors, and we've waited for the Titanus to return. Tessa folded her arms. Why show yourselves now? Because the war has returned. the voice replied. And the core has awakened. But this time, it is not alone. Suddenly, Hawk lit up with dozens of signals. Captain, jump signatures detected ships exiting slipspace nearby. Hostile? Rhea. Ask quickly. Hawk paused. No. Human designs, but marked unknown. No weapons locked. The view screen shifted, showing a fleet of ships appearing from behind a broken moon, sleek, silent, and dark-colored. Each bore the symbol of an open eye surrounded by stars. Bryn blinked. That's the Circle. They're real. One ship hailed them. And a new face appeared, an older woman with silver hair and eyes that shimmered like data screens. Captain Carter, Commander Vile. I'm Admiral Callan of the Circle. We've come to help. Rhea nodded slowly. You know who we are? We've been watching since the moment you reactivated the Titanus, Callan said. And we saw what you did to Ray Ice forces. You proved the ship still remembers how to fight. Marcus stepped forward. Why didn't you act sooner? Callan's voice turned quiet. Because the last time we fought openly, we lost thousands. The core was almost taken. We chose the shadows to protect what was left. Why now? Tessa asked. Because now the core has bonded again, Callan answered. It has chosen a purpose. And it is not destruction. The bridge fell silent, the truth heavy on everyone's chest. Then what does the core want? Rhea asked carefully. Marcus looked up, his voice calm. It wants balance. It saw death in all sides, human, alien, machine. It doesn't care who wins. It cares who learns, Callan nodded. That's why it let you live, Carter. That's why it didn't kill your crew the moment it awoke. Rhea glanced at the vault screen where the core pulsed faintly. And what do you want from us? We want to stand with you, Callan said. To show the galaxy that power does not always mean war. And to destroy the ones who would use the core for chaos. Just then, Hawk interrupted again. New alert, Captain. Earth Fleet Armada approaching 12. Dreadnoughts, 30 cruisers, ETA. 1 hour. Rhea turned to Callan. Looks like we won't have to wait long to prove it. Callan's fleet moved into formation beside the Titanus. Shadow ships blending into the stars, waiting for the first move. Marcus sat down, his fingers brushing the console. It's happening again, he said softly. Only this time. We get to choose, Rhea nodded. Then let's choose right. She stepped to the center of the bridge, raised her voice. Crew of the Titanus, hear me now. We are no longer ghosts, no longer running. This ship was buried in silence for 300 years. But today, we rise, not as weapons, but as a warning. Tessa smiled faintly. Nice speech, Captain. Bryn laughed nervously. Let's hope Earth listens. Callan's voice returned. They won't, she said simply. But the galaxy will. Rhea stared out at the stars, the core glowing behind her, her crew ready beside her. The shadows were no longer hiding, they had become the light. The stars trembled as the Earth Armada arrived. 12 dreadnoughts shaped like giants of old, 30 war cruisers lined up in perfect formation, and clouds of fighters moved like swarms of angry insects. They filled the black sky above Delvaras. Broken remains, engines glowing like red suns, on the bridge of the Titanus. Captain Rhea Carter stood tall, her expression calm, her voice steady. We're outnumbered, outgunned, and likely surrounded, she said, looking at her crew. But this ship changed the course of history once before. Marcus Val nodded beside her, his armor cracked and scorched, his mind still bonded to the Omega core. And it's ready to do it again, he whispered. Callan's fleet, the shadowy circle ships, took defensive positions around the Titanus. Silent but deadly, Admiral Reyes appeared on the comms again, his voice sharp like cold metal. Final warning, Captain Carter. Stand down and surrender the core, or you will be erased from history. Rhea stepped forward, her face calm, her voice firm. You tried to erase the truth, Reyes. You buried the core. You buried this ship. But you forgot one thing: truth always rises. Reyes narrowed his eyes. Then die with your truth. The screen went dark. Seconds later, the sky exploded with light. The Earth Armada opened fire. Beams of plasma and high-powered rail cannons blasting toward the Titanus and its allies. Shields at full. Bryn shouted, all batteries firing. The Titanus roared back to life, launching missiles and energy blasts that tore through the incoming fire. Its defense systems moved faster than ever, guided by Marcus's thoughts and the Core's will. Weapons. Online, Captain, Hawk reported. Omega Pulse charged. Hold it, Rhea ordered. We don't use the Core unless we have to. The Circle ships danced between enemy fire, striking hard and fast, disabling cruisers without destroying them. We're not here to kill, Callan reminded them. We're here to show them what power really is, Marcus winced, placing his hand on the vault wall. The Core wants to unleash everything, but it's holding back. Waiting for us to choose, Tessa looked at Rhea. So what's the move, Captain? Rhea didn't answer right away. She looked at the burning stars, the fire, the chaos, the fear. Then she spoke softly. We show them what fear can't do. The Titanus powered down its main cannon for a moment, its guns going silent. The Earth Armada paused, confused. Then Rhea opened all frequencies, broadcasting across the galaxy. This is Captain Rhea Carter of the Dreadnought Titanus, she said. To all who can hear this, know the truth. She streamed the footage, everything. Omega Core, Marcus's logs, the sealed records, the death of Delvara, the betrayal of Earth Command. Billions across colonies and planets began to watch, their eyes wide, their hearts racing. The truth could no longer be hidden. Ships in the Earth Armada began to hesitate. Some crews refused to fire, some turned off their weapons entirely. Captain, Hawk said, we're receiving transmissions from within their fleet. Some of their captains are standing down. But Rhea's wasn't finished. He ordered all loyal ships to charge, to crush the Titanus and silence the message, Marcus cried out. The Core is begging for release, Captain. It wants to defend itself. Rhea closed her eyes, then whispered, let it. The Omega Core pulsed with blinding light, and the Titanus shifted, space bent around it. Time rippled like waves on water. Enemy ships froze, weapons stopped mid-fire. Then the Titanus fired, not to kill, but to disable. Every shot was perfect. Engines destroyed, weapons melted, hulls disabled without loss of life. In just 90 seconds, the Armada was broken. The last Earth dreadnought turned and fled. The battle was over. Silence fell across space, only the soft hum of the Core echoing in the background. Rhea looked at her crew, at Marcus, at Kellen's ship. We won, she said quietly. Marcus leaned against the wall, breathing hard. Not with fire, but with truth. The Titanus had changed history. Again, news spread fast. From colony to colony, planet to planet, station to station, the Titanus became a symbol not of war, but of resistance, of truth, of a future where power had purpose. Marcus entered the vault one last time, looking at the Core. It's done, he said. Rest now. The Core dimmed slightly, its energy becoming calm. Then Marcus collapsed, his connection fading, his body finally reaching its limit. Rhea caught him, held him, and whispered, you saved us all. Later, the Titanus left the Delvara system, not as a weapon, but as a legend, and wherever it went, it carried the story of a man who chose to protect instead of destroy, a woman who stood when others ran, and a ship that refused to die, because sometimes history isn't written by the victors. Sometimes it's written by the ones who dared to tell the truth.